If you've ever wondered how Bill went from the badass bulldozer to, well, Bill, the answer isn't Operation Infinite Walrus, it's Lenore, and I'm not talking about the lizard.
I thought I saw a ghost or a horrible hobgoblin or...
How you doing, baby? Surprised?
Lenore.
Hey folks, welcome to Squirrel Tactics. Like, subscribe, check out the Patreon, let's do this. Lenore Dotrieve, maiden name unknown, possibly Satan, ex-wife of Bill, who, by the way, never signed the divorce papers. Lenore just forged his signature.
I never really got around to signing those divorce papers.
Oh, that's okay. I forged your signature. William in script, Dotrieve in block letters.
Voiced by Emmy and Tony Award winner Ellen Barkin, she's mentioned quite a few times in the show, typically in passing or just in throwaway lines about her leaving Bill.
Why don't you eat some more pizza? That's all you ever do is eat pizza. No wonder you're bald and your wife left you.
Well, dang, amen, man.
Hey!
Yeah, that kind of thing. She is, of course, a reference to Lenore, the dead love of the narrator from Edgar Allan Poe's The Raven. And if you're really a Poe fan, you'll know that Lenore was also the name of another Poe poem about a dead love named Lenore. Over time, the name just became synonymous with a lost love, hence its use in the show. As far as how Bill and Lenore got together, well, that's kind of murky. On one hand, we have I'm with Cupid, where Bill tells of how they met.
Nah. What are the odds of me finding another beautiful, classy lady passed out in my lap at a Molly Hatchet concert, huh?
On the other hand, we have Hank in the Great Glass Elevator, where Lenore talks about how they met.
Reminded me of our homecoming court. You were king and that stuck-up Filipino girl was queen, and I stole you away.
Now, it is possible that they met at a Molly Hatchet concert. The band had one concert in 1974, June 28th to be exact, and it just so happened to be in Texas Stadium in Irving, Texas. Yes, I researched Molly Hatchet's official touring history, and Lenore may not remember it because, well, she was passed out in his lap. And the first meeting she remembers is when he won Homecoming King. It also shows that she only wanted him because he was successful, and it would mean taking him from someone else. Now, we don't know for sure when they got married or for how long they were married, but we get this information from As Old as the Hills.
Are you gonna give her China, Hank? 20th anniversary China? My marriage only made it to wood.
So if they made it to wood, then they were married for a little over 5 years, but less than 6 years because that's sugar instead of wood. And if they divorced in 1991, like Bill states while introducing himself in 9 Pretty Darn Angry Men.
You, sir.
I'm Bill Dotrieve. I'm a sergeant barber in the United States Army. I'm 5'8" 3/4 inches tall. My wife Lenore divorced me in the year of our Lord, 1991. That's about it.
Then it can be surmised that they got married around 1985, at least in the mid-80s. I do find this odd when we look at Bill's bachelor party from Patch Boomhauer and focus on Dale here.
Hey, Bill, can you grab me a beer?
Yeah, that's not mid-80s Dale. That's closer to 1970s kid, Dynamite Dale. Especially considering that this is what Dale looked like at his own bachelor party, and we know he got married around 1982.
What is it, a bomb? I can't lose it. It's after me. Help!
In short, the writers, as they often did, played pretty fast and loose with the continuity of Bill and Lenore's marriage. Anywho, speaking of fast and loose, Lenore was apparently known for cheating on Bill on a pretty regular basis. We see evidence of this in Bystand Me.
You know, my ex-wife slept with Harv. Couple of times.
And it's possible that she started cheating during their honeymoon.
I know this hotel. It's where Lenore and I spent our honeymoon. That's the couch where I slept.
But we know for sure that it wasn't more than 2 weeks into the marriage before she started stepping out.
My God, what happened to you?
Yeah, I looked pretty good back then, didn't I? Of course, that was before Lenore started cheating on me. 2 weeks before.
As far as why she left Bill, again, we have a few different answers. We have this from Bill in Peggy's Turtle song.
Yeah, you're a lucky man, Hank. You know, my ex-wife, she was a careerist, and one day I had to say to her, honey, make a choice. It's either me or the motivational poster industry. Boy, I wish I hadn't said that.
But then we have this from Hank and the Great Glass Elevator.
I think the question is, why did I ever leave?
You said it was because I was fat and bald and I got too jealous whenever you had a date.
Oh, Billy Goat.
So, motivational posters or not, Lenore ran around on Bill, and when she had sucked all the life out of him like a dream-smashing vampire, she went about her way to bring chaos and mayhem upon the rest of humanity. We only actually see Lenore in one episode, but we'll get to that, because first we need to talk about that time that Bill became Lenore in pretty dresses.
My name is Lenore, silly. I've come back because I love Bill so much.
See, Lenore left Bill 7 years before on Christmas Eve, and so Bill has a hard time with the holiday. Part of how he handled it was that he kept everything from that Christmas, including presents and the tree. Yeah, that poor little thing seen better days. And he also gets himself a pet iguana, which he of course names Lenore.
Come on, Lenore.
You named it Lenore?
Oh, don't worry, we're just at the tip of the Crazy Bill iceberg here. We end up seeing this happen.
I had a bad dream.
Bill?
I dreamt that Lenore came back and stole Lenore, and then Lenore drove off with Lenore, and I ran down the street after him, and I yelled, Lenore! Lenore! And then my teeth fell out. Peggy, you were there. Can I sleep in your living room?
I just had to sneak that in there. Anywho, Hank puts Bill on suicide watch after he tried to jump off his single-story roof.
Come on, Bill. How about a beer?
Beer's a depressant, Hank.
Don't go blaming the beer.
And they even tried to set a date up for him, though it went about as well as we all figured it would.
You are a gross man.
Sheila!
Marry me.
Bill!
Oh, this is so exciting. I just want my coat. For the love of God, get me my coat.
Allow me.
He also ends up losing Lenore, the iguana, not the other one. Well, I guess he lost her too, but you know what I mean.
Lenore! Don't leave me!
Hank finally confronts Bill about him holding on to Lenore and needing to move on, and this hits some kind of switch in Bill's head.
There! You feel okay?
I don't feel anything.
Great, I knew you'd snap out of this.
Thus began Bill's mental breakdown as he took up the role of Lenore since he couldn't have the actual one back.
Bill, take off the dress.
Why do you keep calling me Bill?
Now, Hank didn't deal with the situation particularly well at first. I mean, he handled it better than someone like Joe Jack would. We'll talk more about that later. But I guess when Bill brought up the Christmas party, that was just the last straw.
I don't even know what kind of game you're playing. Maybe some kind of crazy tennis.
Hank! Okay then. Nice visiting with you. See you at the party.
No, you stay away from my party. No party, you got that?
I'm already invited, so there.
I do have to point out that Dale handled it better than Hank.
Bill's been acting a little weird lately, don't you think? Maybe it's me.
Bill's busy. I needed a wrap. It's chilly. Yep.
All right, that's it.
Bill/Lenore end up going to the Christmas party despite Hank uninviting them.
May I offer you a homemade tater tot, Mr. and Mrs. Doughtry?
And an interesting thing here, Lenore calls Peggy during the party. I'm guessing Peggy had been trying to get a hold of her in order to help out Bill.
Hello? Lenore? Hold on. Bill, it's the real Lenore.
But Lenore calling does not make the situation any better.
Well, if you could just tell him you send your love. Yeah, sure. No, I understand. Never mind, Bill.
Bill/Lenore is not having a good time, and the fact that all the partygoers are turning on them did not help.
You crashed the wrong party, honey.
Hey, it's strictly propane. You don't
Look at them shit. Take off your dress, buddy. You're scaring me.
Yeah, pretty sure Joe Jack was about to have himself Donnybrook there, but Hank stepping in to de-escalate situation was good on him.
Yeah, now we're having fun. Yeah, that's right. It's that kind of party.
Though it looks like it might have hurt Dale's feelings.
Hank, this wasn't on my invitation. Did you make Bill a special invitation?
Hank confronts Bill and takes on the persona of Lenore, giving us a glimpse into their marriage.
We fight so loud all the neighbors can hear. We fight during the day, we fight during the night.
Hank, as Lenore, then tells Bill they left him because they didn't love him, that they had never loved him, which finally seems to get through.
I don't love you.
That's all. That's why you left? It Simple as that.
And when it does finally get through, Bill finally found that anger that he had stuffed down for years, and he let it out.
So you know what? You go ahead. You get out. Get out. You don't deserve William Fontaine de la Tour d'Autreve.
Having finally found closure by confronting Lenore, Bill comes to his senses and goes back to normal, sharing a moment with Hank.
I hit rock bottom there, didn't I, Hank?
And hard.
And it's all uphill from now on.
Yep, the wind's at your back, buddy. Merry Christmas.
And yeah, I just had to add this in because some people miss it. This, of course, brings us to Lenore's one and only appearance in Hank and the Great Glass Elevator, where she shows up to an event that Bill was attending with his girlfriend at the time, Ann Richards.
Hi, Bill.
Lenore.
Okay, so I don't know who the guy sitting next to Lenore is, but he looks like a slightly thinner version of Bill with hair. Sorry, I couldn't help but notice that. Anywho, Bill faints, and when he comes to, he introduces his current girlfriend to his ex.
Oh, excuse me, Lenore. Governor Richards. Lenore. Well, I should probably go vomit. Back in the jiff.
When Bill gets home, Lenore is waiting for him, and it's clear that yet again she only wants him because he's being successful, and it means taking him away from someone.
I'm the one who should be jealous of you, showing up in the society pages with the governor on your arm.
Bill lets the guys know about her coming by, and I personally love Boomhauer's reaction here.
Lenore swung by my place last night.
I told you she'd come back.
He ends up ruining his relationship with Ann Richards after she catches him sneaking off to talk to Lenore on the phone.
I miss you too. What are you wearing? Uh-huh. That's a lot of clothes.
But he gets Lenore to show up to a birthday party with Lenore not realizing that it's for Bill's birthday.
Lenore! You came!
I wouldn't miss this for the world. So, whose birthday is it?
Mine.
It's at this point that Bill tells Lenore that he broke up with Ann Richards for her, which isn't exactly true, and her reaction shows what really matters to her.
Wow, I'm dating a man who dumped Ann Richards. That's like me dumping Ann Richards. Why, Nancy Hicks Gribble, I haven't seen you in ages. Did you hear that Bill dumped Ann Richards for me?
Also, I can't help but find it funny that the first woman she calls out to is Nancy, another blonde with a history of fidelity issues. As Lenore and Bill are later catching up, she reminds him how much she does know about him in a rather disconcerting way.
I know your mother's maiden name, your social security number, what foods will kill you. If I didn't care so much about you, I could ruin your life.
And Bill, for some reason, sees this as a perfect time to make his move, really swinging for the fences, and it does not go well.
Lenore, will you marry me?
Bill, it wouldn't work out. You live in Arlen, I live in... Well, I probably shouldn't tell you where I live.
This luckily gets interrupted when Aunt Richard shows up to tell Bill happy birthday, and Lenore jumps into action being Lenore.
Bill asked me to marry him.
No, but you said you wouldn't even tell me where you live.
Bill, stop wasting the governor's time with your nonsense.
Bill gets in the car with Aunt Richards to give her driver directions to get back on 35 South, but Lenore ain't happy about that. And we get this great line from Aunt Richards, a woman known for her great lines.
What are you doing in that woman's limo? Get out here right now and ask me to marry you. Bill.
Bill, when somebody's serving up humble pie, why do you keep going back for seconds?
So, after giving this some thought, while also listening to Lenore knock on the window and demand he get out of the car, Bill finally gets Lenore to leave him alone once and for all.
Ugh.
Yay! And while you're at it, blow her a kiss.
And that's the last we see of Lenore. She left Arlen and probably now travels from town to town, putting wrong what once was right and leaving a trail of misery in her wake. Or not, who knows? So, yeah, Lenore was a bad person. She used Bill up, sucking the life out of him while openly cheating on him left and right and blaming him for her doing it. All before abandoning her empty husk of a husband on Christmas Eve and forging his signature on their divorce papers. She only came back around because Bill got with someone high profile like Ann Richards, and Ann Richards was pretty high profile in Texas at the time. But she not only refused to take responsibility for the damage she did to Bill both during and after their marriage, she still didn't want to have a relationship with him or even tell him where she lived. Bill made her feel important, and that's what mattered to her, because Lenore was self-centered and never deserved Bill. It's sad to think of what Bill could have been had it not been from Lenore, and it makes you wonder, is she the biggest villain from the show? But seriously, who is this guy?
Don't you recognize me? I'm Lenore. Well, I got a bunch of ladies' tennis socks we can use for spirit bags. I got them in a divorce. Now every time she plays, she gets blisters.
It's been 6 years, Bill. Don't you think she'd have bought some new socks by now?